Hey guys, I want to talk about this senator who has gone on a crusade to basically discredit the church and to discredit any organization that they can't get tax money from. And basically they're attacking the church. So I think it's a bigger matter of separation of church and state is the problem here. They like, you can be a preacher as long as you don't make money or make more money than what we're making or if we ain't getting a cut. And basically that's what it is that, that they are doing it because of the fact that they want some money out of it. And then what got me about this senator, and I don't know his name, but the fact that he said, we're doing it because we're so concerned about the poor people. If you was so concerned about the poor people, you would do something about the government, not about this church. It's the government that is just wailing the people, the middle class, with the taxes. Even if you help the middle class, it would, if you took it easy on the middle class, it would help the poor people more, you know. But these people will take money and take all this money for leadership, and then never in the government, and then never do anything to help poor people. Yet they're gonna try to stop him from helping, the people that he does help and build communities. And I think he also has businesses. So you can best believe a lot of his congregation are probably being employed by his business. So, and going to college and stuff like that 10 years from now. So or 5 years from now, going through college and becoming successful people. And what they want to do is measure how much he is delivering on his promises of the gospel. So they are definitely saying, well, you claim to help people's lives. Show us how you help people's lives. As if you can account for that, you know. Because really, what the really absurdity about it is that there's lots of people that watch that television show, and his television shows that he has helped their lives. That those people have never gave Creflo or any of those televangelists a dollar back. Be honest, I would be one of them. I watch them right until I can get all the information and the good information to help me with my life, give me a good sound thinking on how to pursue my goals and dreams and good sound plan. And then I do, as soon as they start asking for the money, I change the channel. So now I do give to my church sometimes, but that helps build my communities, and still it's for the work of God. But let me tell you something. I really just have a problem with this senator because, this is supposed to be separation of church and state, and they're really just going into their business. They are already tax exempt. They've already put their expenditures into the IRS. It's not a problem with the IRS. It's them going into their personal business, going into their house and saying, what did you spend money on that? How did you spend money on this and then like that? So, they're not, so they're overstepping their bounds. So they're really just persecuting the church. It's just another means of finding a way to persecute the church for their own means, their own control, and forcing their way into their lives so that they can control them. And so this is what I want to say about it. There's a parable in the Bible, and this is the genuineness of this preacher is what of this senator is what gets me, because there is a moment in the Bible that comes to mind, right? When Jesus is about to die, they're about to put him to death, okay? And so this he's in the house, and this is just before Passover or something like that. So Jesus, and he already knows that he's about to die. So this woman comes up to him, and she has this expensive, lavish bottle of perfume, and it is just the best perfume money can buy. And she takes the bottle, cracks it, the whole bottle, and pours it on the Lord's feet. Pours it on Jesus' feet. Okay? Takes this expensive perfume and just on his feet, no less. Okay? And so they anoint his body. Now, really what was going on is that he was going to die, and they actually didn't have time Christ knew he was going to die. God knew he was going to die, and this woman had a revelation, and so before, because of the time and the Sabbath and stuff, they was actually preparing his body for death before he actually died. So while he was away. So anyway, this house filled with this beautiful fragrance. And then Judas, who is the treasurer. Now, yes, that's right. Christ had so much money that, they had a treasury, because obviously he was going around and producing the kind of results that the government didn't want to see. So, he was actually healing the blind and stuff like that. And every time Christ did something like that, they got mad. Now they're saying that they want to see it. Okay, so anyway, so Judas gets mad. He says, and it's in the book, it's in the Bible. I don't know exactly where, but it's in there. I read it somewhere. And he says, I heard it. Okay, so I don't read too much. So he says, oh, you took this woman took this expensive bottle of beautiful perfume and wasted it on your feet. Couldn't we have taken that bottle and give it to the poor? Just like the senators say, right? I shouldn't say that like that. But, basically, out of concern for the poor, Judas was concerned about this bottle of oil that was broken among the leader who had at one time washed all their feet. Just washed their feet. And he said, in order to be great, you have to be the least servant. And so they didn't even want him to wash his feet. They were so indignified by having their leader wash their feet. But he said that that's the way. If you want to judge anybody, judge them by how much he served the community and others around it. That's the real judge. Now, by that same means, judge the government. Judge how much of a leader this guy is by how much he served other people. Okay, so anyway, so how much have he been serving the poor? Let me know that. How much you've been serving the poor already. Okay, so the question is like, everybody knows that Judas' concern was not for the poor. Judas was the treasurer. And as the treasurer, he was dipping in the kitty. As the treasurer, he was taking and stealing money out and concerned about how that bottle of oil, that lavish, rich bottle of oil that was being so-called wasted on the leader, wasted on the leader's feet, just for his feet. Okay, so wasted on his feet, which at that point was a tradition too. Was to wash the feet, because they had sandals. So to wash somebody's feet when they come in your house was a great tradition, a service, So he was so concerned about it, about how that money could have been better spent on the poor. And Christ said to him, I forgot exactly what he said, but he says, do not deny me of this one thing. Of this one thing. Do not deny me. He says, but we could have spent the money on the poor. He said, the poor is going to be with you always. I will be here only a short period of time. So this guy, he already knew he was going to die, right? And he knew what this situation was before. And just really, again, because, the Sabbath, the way it worked in was just the intellectual part of God. It's fascinating because, because of the timing. Like after he died, then the women had to come with oil again because they didn't have time because he was dying on Friday, which was the Sabbath. Okay, so just the timing of everything was just, and just how they worked out in spite of that. So before he died, he was actually anointed. So with oil, expensive oil, and for the bad time, for everybody says that's what. And let me tell you something. Sacrifices. It's just, it amazes me. Really, you have to make sacrifices, and some of the, and let me get off of that. But anyway, so I just wanted to say something about this, the genuineness of this guy. They just mad because they couldn't get money off that Rolls Royce. And they want some of the money. So they trying to destroy the church. And this is the worst thing about this is that they're trying to decide whether this is a church. Whether or not he is actually Creflo is a pimp. I ain't never met no pimp that could make $69, $69 million, okay? And you know, it's not like he preaching from the word of Creflo, the book of Creflo. He preaching the word of God. You giving him too much credit. Black people don't give nobody money without reason. You know, it's they getting something back in order to be giving something to him. You know, so you know you need to get your mind off the creations, the little things, and get your mind on the creator. And because you definitely giving Creflo too much credit. You know, give credit where it's due. God is doing something in those people's lives that you can't see. You know.